Afghanistan is going into talks with the Taliban. There are a lot of fears, a lot of questions. Where is Afghanistan headed? Is it headed to stability and peace? The man who stood against the Taliban, who fought terrorism in Afghanistan, joins us today, General Ata Noor. 2016 was an important year. The consulate of the Indian mission was attacked, came under attack by terrorists, and this is the man who came out from his governor's residence and protected the consulate. 12 minutes is all it took for him to be informed, and he rushed to the consulate. There's a famous photograph of him wielding a gun, protecting the embassy and its officials. General Ata Noor, many thanks for joining us here on India Today.
Thank you so much. Tashakkur.
The fact that now Afghan government is in talks with the Taliban, you're here engaging the Indian government. Briefly, if you could tell us, what were your proposals to the Indian government and what are your hopes with the talks?
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. تشکر از شما. خوش شدم که با وقت رو در اختیار ما گذاشتین. اول خود در مورد مذاکرات بگویم که تیمی مذاکرات بین الافغانی.
In the name of God, thanks to you and very nice talking to you. Regarding the peace talks, the 21-member group of the negotiation team is busy in Qatar at the moment, the contact group to finalize the agenda and rules and regulation, but they haven't come to an agreement yet. I hope with the intermediation of the countries, we will get to some good results. India is our old friend. We shared values in trade, culture, and economy. I met the senior Indian officials. I asked India to have proactive diplomacy and be amongst the countries that facilitate the peace talks. As a strong and powerful country, I appreciate India's role in the regional consensus. While we wish for the best, we have to prepare for the worst. The Afghan government, democracy, freedom of expression, women's rights, gains we have made over the last 19 years have to be protected. We must not go back. Islam is full of good deeds, tolerance, and have good lessons for everyone. Killing is sinful in Islam. Discrimination is sinful in Islam. As Afghanistan a strategic partner, India should continue to be more proactive. It should stand by the Afghan government. The Afghan government initiated the peace talks. They released 5,000 Taliban inmates, created regional consensus. The Taliban live in illusion. I hope they will realize the realities. Otherwise, we have to be prepared. The U.S. presence in Afghanistan is very important until we have full control of the situation. I wish Afghanistan stands on its own feet. Our security forces are very strong and they should be kept. By no means our Afghan security forces should be abandoned.
General Ata Noor, also known as Ustad. So Ustad Saab, the fact that you've spoken about the intra-Afghan talks, release of Taliban prisoners, as also America's role, but India's role. How should India, you've spoken about diplomacy, India's diplomatic role. What about military role? Should India be a part of the military engagements in case things go wrong with the Taliban?
تشکر. اول خود امیدوار هستم که با دیپلماسی فعال هند و کشورهای منطقه و کشورهای
We hope with the proactive of India and other regional countries, the US and EU, we will get to some positive results that our people expect. Afghanistan shouldn't be used against any other country. We hope to achieve positive results from the talks. If the talks were good, then it will meet our expectations as people who desire to have peace. If the results were the other way around, we expect India to stand by its traditional friends in addition to its proactive diplomacy. We have common values, common enemy with India. We don't want India to send troops to Afghanistan. It isn't a good option and provokes things in the region. We don't want to drag the feet of India to a prolonged war. We hope to use the chance now to get results from talks. In case there is an imposed war, India has got traditional and natural friends in Afghanistan who will stand against the enemies to preserve our gains.
Ustad Saab, also the fact that we are looking at talks with the Taliban. Straight question to you. do you trust the Taliban? Is there trust between you who's fought the Taliban, who's fought terrorism in Afghanistan? Do you trust them now to be a part of the Afghan peace process? You also wrote about, in your Facebook, you also wrote about third party or interference from other countries. Pakistan plays a very important role in this entire conversation. How do you trust Pakistan in bringing peace to the region when they are indulging and engaging people like the butcher of Kabul, Gulbuddin Hekmatyar?
ما این سوال با دو مرحله تقسیم میکنیم.
We divide this into two phases. In the past, the Taliban, with the help of our neighbors and others, came to Afghanistan. They killed, they burned our houses, plants, animals, and looted our people. They destroyed heritage. They destroyed Buddha, our heritage, a 2,000-year-old heritage. To give psychological harm to India, they destroyed this statue. We stood against them. Pakistan was supporting the Taliban. They created them. They financed them and they trained them and gave them equipment. They housed their families too. In the second phase, the US and the coalition came to Afghanistan. If the Taliban mindset has changed, this will change the scenario. Yes, we have fought in the past with the Taliban, but today the Taliban have to show they have changed to restore trust. It will depend on Pakistan's attitude and realizing that the war in Afghanistan was a mistake. Harboring terrorists in North Waziristan and sending them to Afghanistan was a mistake. If they see stability in Afghanistan has prosperity in Pakistan, this all depends on trust. We tell Pakistan that you are our neighbor. We share border with, we share culture. Please change your attitude. If there is trust, things will change. Otherwise, violence will increase and we have to prepare ourselves for it.
Finally, General Ata Noor, the fact that India has to play a role is what you keep saying. Pakistan has played and tried to push itself into the entire picture. China is in the picture, has huge investments, is aggressive with Afghanistan. In that, how do you see India's role, Afghanistan's stability, the China-Pakistan nexus in Afghanistan, and how should India then engage Afghanistan, and should it actively start engaging the Taliban?
بله در بازی‌ها تمام کشورها فعال است.
The regional countries have stakes in Afghanistan. We expect India to have proactive diplomacy because otherwise it will pave the way for its rival to have an upper hand in Afghanistan. If India has proactive role, it isn't late and there is chance. It can work in line with its interest. It can engage with the Taliban and be in the bottom of the decisions making. It should have active role in regional consensus. It should continue to have its support from the Afghan government and from the other influential figures.
On that note, General Ata Noor, many thanks for joining us here on India Today. A very important visit. Before we started this conversation, he told us that he made an exception by coming to India. There are many countries that have invited him, but he has not gone anywhere. It is important at this point in time, at this juncture, to engage India. That's the importance Ustad has accorded to India. And that's where you see the bigger picture of why the resistance, why the partners of Northern Alliance are important. And if things have to move forward with the Taliban, will the Taliban then recognize Ahmad Shah Massoud, late President Rabbani, as martyrs of Afghanistan? And if not, then things are not going the way this leadership would want it to.